Hey guys, Horror Man back for another review. So today we're going to take a look at the brand new Ultimate Annabelle figure. Now this is made by NECA Toys and it's based off the Annabelle Comes Home movie. So just taking a look at the box here, you do get that cool picture of Annabelle from the movie in that little display that she's in. It does say, warning, positively do not open. That's something that you kind of see in the movie, basically telling people don't open this cursed thing. But it also says Annabelle Comes Home right on the front. Over to the side, you do get a really creepy picture of Annabelle, and it looks to be from the actual movie. Same thing on the other side. And then over to the back, you get some really cool product shots of the figure itself. And then you get a brief read-up of Annabelle Comes Home. And then it also kind of tells you at the bottom the different accessories that come with the figure itself. Just going over to the front, you do get this really cool clear window on here. And then you can see you get this really cool product shot again of Annabelle. And just like the cover, but instead of being a picture from the movie, it's the actual figure in that same case. So that's pretty cool. And then you also, of course, get to see the inner window, and you can see the figure clearly displayed in that case. And then you have the figure's accessories on the right side. So pretty cool. Just another picture on the top from the movie, and then the bottom you just get some of the credits for NECA. So let's go ahead and get this out of the box and have a closer look. Alright, so here's Annabelle outside of the packaging. And she does actually stand pretty well, so I've got her in a standing position right now. Now, first thing you do actually get this like background piece, which I'll try to put behind her. And it's not too bad if you want to do some kind of different backdrop with her. It's just basically like a shot of the inside of the house, just with some like kind of low lighting. But it doesn't look too bad in case you want to use a little backdrop for Annabelle. She does come with a ton of accessories and some really like display props more than accessories, so I'm really happy with that. So let's go ahead and get a close-up of the different head sculpts. We'll take a look at the articulation, and then we'll finally look at the accessories and do some comparisons. Alright, so let's go ahead and get a nice close-up of the head sculpt. Alright, so taking a look at the first head sculpt, this is pretty much her, I guess you'd say, neutral face, or like the cleaner face. So it's basically like her in that current condition, no real damage or anything crazy going on. So it does have, I guess this would be like the cutest this thing is going to look. So pretty good likeness there. You got the pigtails, you got the little bands at the end of the pigtails, which looks pretty good. And the hair does look pretty good. It's not like super fake looking, so it has a little bit more realistic look to the doll. You do have the really big eyes, which looks nice. You got the little blush or whatever on the cheeks. She does have the mouth sort of open, so you can kind of see the teeth just a little bit. The other head sculpts tend to have a little bit more damage, especially on the chin. And I really like what they've done with the blue eyes. They really come through, very realistic looking, very big. So I think they've done a really nice job with the eyes. You have some really nice detail and texturing all throughout the hair, even on the back of the hair, and you can see where the pigtails start. From all angles, I mean, this figure really has a really good likeness to that Annabelle doll. Alright, so besides this head sculpt, you do get two other head sculpts, and we'll go ahead and take a look at those now. The first one you get is this one here, and you can see the expression's just a little bit different. The eyes are a little bit different, but the eyebrows are probably the biggest difference, and you could really see they kind of look a little bit more angry, but there's definitely a difference there. And again, that chin has a bit of like a nick on it, so it's a little bit more worn and a little bit creepier. And then the final head sculpt, you actually get the crazy eye, like the side eye. And again, this one too has that like chip out of the chin, just like the movie. So it has a little bit more of that wear and tear. But again, you get that side eye, so she's actually looking to her left. So pretty cool. Now, if you want to pop that head sculpt off, it's fairly easy. Just have to get a snug grip on it, and it just has that straight peg, like we've seen with most of the figures through NECA. And then you just pop this new one on. A little bit of pressure, and I think that's on, and that looks pretty creepy. And I think this one is actually my favorite one. It's definitely got the right creep factor to it. I mean, if you look at that regular one, it's definitely cuter. The eyes look different. Even the mouth on this one is a little bit different. She's got a different expression going on. And then, like, on her cheeks, there's some scratches right here. Again, the eyebrows look totally different. I mean, even the eyes look a little bit different. So this is definitely going to be your more creepy version of Annabelle. Alright, and the third and final head sculpt is just going to be, like I said, this kind of side-eye version. So you can see she's kind of looking to her left. So she does have that little bit of an expression going on, just like the second one. So again, this is like your creepier version of Annabelle. You got the same wear and tear on the chin and the cheeks, and then you have the crazy eyebrows going on there. I'm actually really happy with the different head sculpts you get here. You get plenty of choices. I like that you get this like more basic, like happier Annabelle, then you get the creepy one, then you get the one with a bit more expression. So overall, really, really nice. So let's go ahead and take a look at the rest of the body. Alright, so taking a look at the rest of Annabelle here, the one thing I want to say right off the bat is that this is definitely an ultimate figure. Now, like the retro figures, you do have some cloth elements, but it's still a ultimate figure. It just has a cloth dress, at least part of the dress. Alright, so moving on past that, the details are pretty good. You got this kind of vintage or antique type of dress here, and it has like a mother of pearl type of look to it, kind of silver, kind of white. It's mainly got that really pearl look on the top portion of the body, basically where the plastic is. So you got the puffy shoulders here, you got this little red belt piece with a little like bow on the side. It kind of matches with her little hair ties. And then, of course, you do have that fabric here. Now, if you move her arms up and you move up the dress a little bit, you can see she does have little shoes on. There is no peg holes on these feet, so they will be a little hard to stand at times, but there is no peg holes on the feet. And she basically has like a basic doll body, the way it looks underneath the dress and everything. So it's kind of cool that they still kind of kept that doll type of look to her. So I'm pretty happy with that. Now over to the back of the figure. Again, you have that really pearl type of look in the upper part of the body. And then there's also this little split in the back of the dress where you would dress the doll or whatever. And that's pretty much it. The hands are nicely done. There's no blood or anything creepy on them. Just regular looking hands for a doll. So, I mean, overall pretty good details on the figure. With this Annabelle, you do get the wiring, and it's in the bottom of the dress. So if you want to have her in a standing position and you flex out the wire completely, it really has that kind of almost like wedding dress type of look where it's just completely flowing and makes it look really big. So the wiring is in this part of the dress, so if I fold this part or if I flex it out completely, it will stay in that position. Alright, now most people are probably going to display Annabelle inside of that case, but if you don't, she does have some articulation, and you can actually use that in your favor if you're doing some photos and things like that. So let's go ahead and take a look at that articulation. So she can turn her head pretty well. The pigtails don't really get in the way too much for left to right. She can look down a little bit, and she could look up a little bit as well. The waist can turn, so if you want to get her in like a creepy walking position, she can do that. She can kind of, move her body up and down, mainly because of the legs. So she does have some decent rotation. She can kind of angle her body just a little bit. Arms can go all the way up, and you can see how far down they go. Her legs kind of come out a little bit on an angle, so her arms don't go flat completely. She does have a single hinged elbow, but you do get a little bit better than 90 degrees. And then there is rotation at that elbow as well. So she can turn, and just make sure you turn that right before you go to bend it back. And then the wrists can turn pretty good. Not too much movement on the wrist other than the turn. She can move it just a little bit more, but not too much. So that's about it. Her legs can go up pretty far. She, of course, has single jointed knees because she's going to have to sit in that chair. And they can pivot as well. And then the feet move, so they can pivot up and down. And a little bit side to side, so she got a little bit of an ankle rocker. And then if you put the dress up a little higher, she can do a split, if you ever want an Annabelle to do a split. And the legs can go back a decent amount. So yeah, for a figure or a character that really doesn't move that much in her movies, she's got some really good articulation. The best articulation definitely with this figure is going to be that head pivot, so she can do the pivot really well, so you get some really nice expression through that sculpt. Alright, so taking a look at some of the accessories here, I'm going to start off with the display case, which is done really cool. Now, before you actually do this display case, you actually do have a little bit of assembly required here. So this piece does have 4 different pegs on it, and then the actual display piece itself has 4 peg holes on the bottom. And what you're going to do is just basically connect these together, just put them into the holes, and then it should go on just like that. So that's going to give you a little bit of that extra height that this case needs. Now the next accessory you have is actually for the case, and that is the warning sticker that goes on the top. And this looks to be a standard sticker, so I'm already worried about getting this on correct. So I'm going to do this off camera, and I'll go ahead and put that sticker on the case. Alright, so here's what it looks like once you get that sticker right on the glass there. And they really don't give you any ways of like starting this sticker, so you got to have some little bit of fingernails or whatever to try to get that sticker off the adhesive. But it does the trick. It looks pretty good. You just want to line that up as close as you can into the middle there. And then the one that's actually right by the door handle itself is already on there when you get it. Alright, so the next accessory you get with Annabelle here is the antique wooden chair. And I think this is called a antique slat back chair. You do have like a little bit of a floral design on that slat back, which looks pretty good. And the chair itself is really time period to when Annabelle would have been made. So pretty cool that they have that like vintage chair in there. And there is some design to the actual seat itself. You can kind of see on the cushion part or on the seat portion, and that's something you see with a lot of these antique chairs. And then you have a little bit of a shape, like a scalloping type of shape to the seat itself. But yeah, it's a really good design. Definitely fits well with Annabelle. So this will actually go inside of the display case, so that should look pretty cool. Alright, and the final accessory is just this little like cardboard note, and it just says "Miss Me" with a question mark. So you could just kind of like display that with your Annabelle. It's not like a sticker or anything like that. It's literally just a piece of cardboard, and it just has "Miss Me" written on there. So that is it for the accessories. Alright, so once you get the doll to sit down in the chair, she can kind of sit in these like, lifeless type of positions. So as long as you can position the doll to sit on the chair just right, she kind of just, it's got the right eerie, creepy factor going on. It really doesn't look like she's alive. But once you kind of switch the heads around, it'll really change it up. So once you just change the head on here, you can keep her in the same type of position you had her before, but just with those wandering eyes, it really gives it that extra creep factor. So I really like that about the figure. Just by changing these heads, you actually do get a much different look. Alright, so as cool as she does look outside of that display case, one of the coolest things about this figure is that it does come with this case to actually put the figure in. Alright, so if you want her to fit in this case, well, the one thing I recommend is kind of positioning her to look more like the cover of the box. She kind of has this like arms down position. So what I did is I kind of like put her in that arms down position, and then the dress is kind of like under, her butt. So I don't have it like all stretched out or anything, because it's got to squeeze in between here. And I also put the original head on. So you just want to pop open that door, and what I would do is put this little chair in first. So once you get that chair into place, alright, just take the figure, put her in there, and just like get her situated, and then you really got to make sure the dress is fully in there. And then you can kind of close this door, just like that. So I kind of left it to where it kind of pushes up against her a little bit, like her knees, because it kind of looks like she's coming through the case just a little bit more. You don't have to do that, and you can get her to go back farther. But I think it's kind of a neat effect. Looks like it's kind of like getting ready to come out of the case. So really, really neat display. I think I'm actually going to display mine like this for a little bit. Alright, so for the first comparison, here she is next to the Bride of Chucky Tiffany and the Ultimate Chucky with the Curse of Chucky head sculpt. And you can see these are actually in scale together. It's just that Annabelle has more like childlike proportions, whereas Chucky and Tiffany have like bigger heads on little bodies. So, but they all look really cool next to each other. And again, you could see how Tiffany had the fabric elements to her dress, just like Annabelle has the fabric on hers. For the next comparison, here she is next to the Good Guy doll version of Chucky. Now that's a retro Chucky. And then you also have one of the original figures from the seated Chucky. This is the Glenn or Glenda figure. And you can see that these are much bigger than the Ultimate Annabelle, so these are definitely not in scale. Here she is next to the Ultimate Part 2 Freddy Krueger from Nightmare on Elm Street, and then you have the Jason from Part 3. Now, even though this isn't technically a retro figure, you can kind of still fit her in like some retro displays. So you can see her standing along with Jason from Friday the 13th. This is the original Friday the 13th retro Jason. And then you have Kevin from Home Alone, which wants nothing to do with either of these two. So you could definitely still have fun with it. Here she is next to the NECA Raphael from the 1990 movie and the Frankenstein from Diamond Select Toys. And you can see she looks pretty cool with these guys as well. Here she is next to the Shelley Sin City figure, which is Brittany Murphy, which is probably my favorite damsel in distress figure. And she looks awesome next to Annabelle. Alright, so once she's in that case, I mean, she looks really good. I definitely like the way she scales with just regular human characters. Alright, so that's my review of the Ultimate Annabelle figure from NECA Toys. And overall, I think this is a really nice representation of the character. I think the case is really what sells it for me. It just went above and beyond. And I like that the figure not only comes with this great looking case, but you can also take the figure out, and it's fully articulated, or at least articulated enough that we would, expect from like a doll from that time period. So just really cool that they went all out with that. The chair is pretty nice, it fits nicely in there, and I think the effect of just like the creepiness of the character really comes through in this display and in this figure. If I would say anything to watch out for, I would definitely be careful with the case. You don't want to swing this door open too far, like, you know, pushing it the wrong way or anything. So it does have some things that I would be, you know, just not concerned about, but just watch out for. But overall, I mean, the quality is really good. You know, make sure when you put this sticker on, you can put it on as good as you can. But yeah, I mean, if you're a fan of just classic horror or modern horror, I think this character is popular enough to be kind of iconic at this, you know, at this point. And she would fit in with anything, you know, from Jason to Chucky, you know, whatever you want to put in the display. I think she'd look, you know, really cool next to your other horror figures on your shelves. So thanks for watching my review. If you liked it, please like it. If you want, leave a comment or question if you have any. And yeah, man, I'm pretty impressed with this figure. It's a little trickier to find. I'm on the East Coast, and I found it at Target. If you can't find it between now and the next month or so, it's probably going to be around May to June before you actually see it on the shelves. So it does have a bit of a delay. But some select areas do have them. Like I said, East Coast is probably your best chance. But yeah, so thanks for watching my review. Until next time, guys. See ya.